Lawyers in Vaunia and Jaffna kept away from work today as well, citing the alleged unfair manner in which the impeachment motion against the Chief Justice, Dr. Shirani Bandaranaike, was examined. Activities at the Vaunia Magistrates Court, the District Court and the High Court were paralysed as lawyers kept away from work. This is incidentally the fourth consecutive day the lawyers carried out their protest action.
On Business News tonight, Minister of Economic Development Basil Rajapaksa states that the aim of the government is to establish a method of governance that is steeped in local concepts. The minister made this statement at a function held to launch a book on good governance.
The book compiled by the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs is titled Towards Good Governance, an Invitation. The book, consisting of articles on good governance written by experts, state officials, politicians and religious leaders, was presented to the Minister of Economic Development. There are two opinions on good governance. There is a big difference between the good governance forced upon us by Western nations and the good governance in Asia that is based on Buddhism and other religions in Asia. I will not say which one is good. However, what we mean through the Mahinda Chintane is a process of governance that suits this country and which is steeped in local concepts that people are familiar with.
විශේෂයෙන්ම 2007 අවුරුද්දේ ඉඳලා දූෂණ දර්ශකයෙන් අපි යම් ආකාරයකට නැගිටීමක් පෙන්වුම් කරලා තියෙනවා.
We as a country have been rising in the corruption index since 2007. This year it has increased to 40%. According to the world ranking, we have moved forward step by step during these 5 years. But we have a huge journey ahead to be rid of corruption. When we look at Asia, we are only behind Bhutan in terms of corruption. All other countries in our region such as India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Maldives and Nepal are far behind. 40% is not a good level. It should at least exceed 50%. Therefore, good governance has a huge role to play.
140 කියන්නේ හොඳ මට්ටමක් නෙවෙයි අඩුතරමින් 150 ඉක්ම යුතුයි මේ කාරණේදී යහපාලනට විශාල කාර්යභාරයක් තියෙනවා.
You're watching news. First up next is Action TV.
The majority of those involved in agriculture for sustenance in the Puttalam district do not have clear title to their lands. For several decades now, the majority of these farmers have been cultivating illegally on state lands. While these farmers have regularly paid the relevant land taxes to the government, they have also continuously received the government's fertilizer subsidy. Following the end of the war, vast swaths of land in the Puttalam district, which borders the Mannar and Anuradhapura districts, were rapidly put to agricultural use. Although the majority of these lands belong to the government, surveys carried out by the Land Reforms Commission and the Ministry of Lands and Land Development have established the startling fact that deeds have been prepared for some of these lands. Several individuals from outside, keen on securing as much land as they could, have invaded some of the state-owned lands being illegally cultivated by the residents of Puttalam for their sustenance. Incidentally, it is none other than certain government officials who have created the environment for this invasion. Farmers who have cultivated on this land for a while now state that the intention of putting up this 2-kilometer long electric fence around this field in Ralmadua, which comes under the Wanathavilla Divisional Secretariat, was to enable outsiders to take over the land. This electric fence has been put up despite the fact that there is a 30-kilometer long electric fence that has been put up separating the adjacent villages and the forest reserve located beyond. The state of this fence today is further proof of its intended purpose. A previous divisional secretary of Wanathavilla was suspended for paving the way for private ownership of state lands. The farmers who were done an injustice through his actions are yet to receive justice. These farmers are now being made to run behind the divisional secretariat in spite of the fact that the divisional secretariat possesses ample evidence that these farmers have been tilling these fields for some time. Shouldn't steps be taken to prevent the theft of state lands in the Puttalam district and provide relief to the underprivileged people who have been thrown from the frying pan into the fire? Minister of Lands and Land Development, this one is over to you.
Today is the 69th birthday of the chief incumbent of the Hunupitiya Gangarama Viharaya in Colombo, which lays claim to a history dating back over 100 years. Venerable Galabora Gnani Sarathera. Various religious observances had been organized today in view of this.
1st of December 1943, Galabora, Kankanamlage, Don, Madhuma and Amaravikramaliyanage Selina were blessed with a baby boy. The youngest in a family of 8, the boy was placed in the care of a Viharaya by his father after he identified a unique talent inherent in the boy. The boy who entered monkhood on the 8th of November 1954 was tutored by the chief incumbent of the Hunupitiya Gangarama Viharaya at the time, Venerable Devundra Sri Vachistharathera. Venerable Devundra Vachistharathera, who was appointed chief incumbent with the blessings of Venerable Devundra Sri Jinnaratanathera, was popularly known as Podi Hamuduruvo. When he graduated from the Vidyodaya University, he was well versed in Sinhalese, Pali and Sanskrit, and also very fluent in the English language. Since 1961, he was charged with the functions of the Viharaya. The Podi Hamuduruvo of Gangaramaya, who displayed fearless leadership, humility and great knowledge, was frequently visited by heads of government and the opposition and succeeded in a broadening of the Sasana in the country. A place of prominence must also be given to the invaluable tutelage provided for the youth of this country through the Sri Janaratana Vocational Training Centre. The extent of his success is made all the more clear by the fact that the Viharaya is at present a centre of worship not only locally but internationally as well. On this day, the day of my birthday, I would request all people to work towards making this a truly unified country following the end of terrorism, and I would like to call upon all powerful people, businessmen, media networks and all ethnicities to come together in friendship and dedicate themselves towards working for this country to develop its agriculture and to make this country self-sufficient. President Mahinda Rajapaksa also visited the Viharaya today to wish the chief incumbent on his birthday. In view of the chief incumbent's birthday, the Mahasangha also engaged in religious observances. Opposition leader Ranil Wickramasinghe and other government and opposition representatives also participated at the occasion. Minister of Economic Development Basil Rajapaksa, who visited the Viharaya this evening, also wished Venerable Galabora Gnani Sarathera on his birthday.
The National Child Protection Authority has commenced investigations into the drowning of a boy in Vellavatta yesterday. NCPA chairperson, attorney at law Anuma Disanayaka said that a team of officials from the authority had inspected the children's home in Vellavatta where the child was residing. Meanwhile, the magisterial inquest into the child's death was held this morning.
9-year-old Mohammed Milhan, who was residing at a children's home in Vellavatta, died yesterday. The child, who had been walking on the banks of the Vellavatta canal, had fallen into the canal and drowned. His body was recovered following a search operation that lasted several hours. While the magisterial inquest was held this morning, eyewitnesses, the matron of the children's home and the warden have been notified to appear in court on the 18th of this month. The police said that the young Mohammed Milhan, who is from Bandarawala, was boarded at the children's home in order to attend school in Colombo as his mother is overseas.
The best cut. Make your choice now.
ඒ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවෙන් කරපු දෙයක්ත් තවදුරටත් නිකන් සාකච්ඡා සභාවකට ගෙනියන්න ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඉඩ දීලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒක තමයි ජනතා පරමාධිපත්‍යයට දීපු ලොකුම බලය.
ව්‍යවස්ථාදායකත් කටයුතු කළ යුත්තේ නීතියට අනුව. විධායකයෙක් කටයුතු කළ යුත්තේ නීතියට අනුව. අධිකරණය කටයුතු කළ නීතියට අනුව. ඒක ඇරිස්ටෝටල් කිව්වේ නීතිය අනුව රට පාලනය විය යුතුයි කියලා.
සමහර හාමුදුරුවෝ හිතන් ඉන්නවා සමහර නිලධාරීන් හිතාගෙන ඉන්නවා මේ තැනක මේ ලේකම් කෙනෙක් හෝ කොමසාරිස් කෙනෙක් හෝ විහාරාධිපති කෙනෙක් වුණාම රාජමහා විහාරයක ඒ තියෙන සියලුම බූදල් එයාට අයිතියි කියලා.
Vote now for your favorite cut of the day. Log on to www.newsfirst.lk or SMS to BEST space your choice and send it to 7788. For the best cut of the day, watch News First on Sirasa TV at 10 tonight. The best cut. Make your choice now.
Moving on to sports news now, making a comeback after a 2-year ban from the boxing ring. Manju Wanyarachi claimed victory in a preliminary round match of the 86th National Boxing Championship in Pallekele. Manju Wanyarachi was banned from boxing when he failed a doping test after winning gold in the 56 kg category at the Commonwealth Games. Wanyarachi took on Dinesh Bandara today in the preliminary round match of the National Boxing Championship in the 56 kg bantamweight category. Wanyarachi defeated Bandara by 20 points to 10. 112 male and 42 female boxers are taking part in the 86th National Boxing Championship, which concludes on the 18th of this month.
On to some cricket news now. Australian skipper Michael Clarke reached his 23rd Test half-century today on day one of the first Test against Sri Lanka at the Bellarive Oval in Hobart.
Taking first lease of the wicket, Australia posted 299 runs for the loss of 4 wickets at stumps. Shamara Wellagadara picked the first wicket of the day, restricting the opening partnership to just 18 runs. However, opener David Warner and Philip Hughes put on a second wicket partnership of 79 runs, which saw David Warner reaching his second Test half-century. Philip Hughes also dished out a spirited onslaught with his willow by scoring 86 runs, inclusive of 8 fours and a 6. Michael Clarke played a captain's knock, scoring 70 runs not out.
It's away. You look for...
The only successful Sri Lankan bowler was Chanaka Wellagadara, who claimed 3 wickets for 99.
Edge. Oh, brilliantly caught. What a... Got him. Wow. How about that? Just...
Entertainment First had the opportunity last night to get up close and personal on a Russian teledrama set right here in Sri Lanka. Nadim Majid reports from the picturesque surroundings of the Bolgoda Lake.
You can catch a TV series on your TV screens any given day of the week, but how often do you get to get on the set of a hit TV series? Now this might look like a scene out of an Indiana Jones movie, but this is actually Entertainment First on the set of the hit Russian TV series Veronica.
Several episodes of the hit Russian TV series Veronica are currently being recorded in various locations across Sri Lanka. The story follows the title character Veronica on her travels in Asia to discover a grave secret. The episodes filmed here also prominently feature Sri Lankan talent. Entertainment First also caught up with the series' visionary director, Andrei Selivanov.
We had the opportunity to choose from several different locations in Asia, including India and Thailand, but we decided upon Sri Lanka as the ideal location. Buddhism and Shakov are both very close to my heart. Therefore, I am very happy that we were able to come to Sri Lanka.
Famed Sri Lankan art director Errol Kelly also provided support for the Sri Lankan leg of filming. Prasad Pereira, who very recently worked on Mira Nair's critically acclaimed Midnight's Children, functions as the second assistant director here in Sri Lanka.
And we've got a set of good people actually handling it. And what I personally feel is that our crews and our people who work need to actually ascribe to a certain level of professionality and professionalism in order to actually bring and attract more foreign crews here. And that we are, like I said, we are well on the way because we have people who are very good at working with foreign crews. And also another aspect that can be developed is the infrastructure and the equipment.
This is Nadim Majid on set for Entertainment First.
And on that note, we wrap up this edition of your Primetime News Bulletin. Of course, thanks a lot for joining us. And don't forget to log on to www.newsfirst.lk for the very latest on the world around you. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Mahina Bongso. It was a pleasure having you with us. Have a great weekend ahead. Good night.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.